In this video, we will learn how to use layer stack-ups in Photoshop. We're going to take this ordinary picture and turn it into this. We will be adding hands with the cards, and we will create a new background, and we will add a little shading to it, and we'll show you how to do all of that. So the first thing we want to do is remove this background. We do that by selecting the subject, and this usually does a pretty good job. We'll probably have a little bit of touch-up usually. Okay, so it looks like it did a pretty good job. The only thing I want to do is include this table. And so we're going to add to this selection. I like to use the polygon selection tool. If I right click it, you can see the different options in the lasso tool. I'm going to use the polygon lasso tool. And another thing you want to check to make sure is that you can subtract from a selection, or you can add to a selection, or you could start a new selection. If I click here, for instance, this is the subtract, and this one is the add. So we are going to add. So we start here, bring it here, come on down, and we'll just go here, here, and finish. Okay, so now we have our selection, and the other thing that we want to do is we want to contract it and feather it. And the reason I do that is if you don't, you tend to have a very coarse outline. Some is coarser than others, but if you do a select, and we do the modify, and we do a contract, and I want to do a 2 in this, and if you have the wrong number, if you double click it, you can just put in whatever number you want. I like a 2, it's there already. We say OK. So now we contracted it 2 mils. The other thing we do is select, modify, and feather, and that is also 2 mils. We say OK. And then we go to select, and then we inverse. So now you see this is the area that's going to be removed. And before you remove it, if it's still in background, it won't do anything. In order to modify the layer, you have to have it as a regular layer. So I'm double clicking it, and we have layer 0 here. We say OK. Okay, so now we can do a Control X. And the background is removed. So now the next thing we will do is add a black background here. So I am going to add a couple of layers, and we add layers by this little plus sign here. So I'm going to add 2. I'm going to click, and these 2 layers should be under our main layer. And let's bring that up, and let's name these. Now I'm going to double click this. I'm going to say image, or let's say main image. And this one we will say is the glow. And this one will be the background. Excellent. Okay, so now let's go and let's do some bucket pours. We have black already. If you click on this, you will have black and white, and it is black and white. We are going to do the black, and let's go to our bucket pour, which is right here. Also, I just wanted to show you, if I right-click it, you have Gradient Tool, Paint Bucket Tool, and Material Drop Tool. I'm just going to use the Paint Bucket Tool. It's black. I'm in the background. and I'm just going to pour. So now we have a very nice black background, which is kind of stark, and that's why we kind of use a glow. Now the glow is going to be white, and if I go here and see where this little arrow thing here is, you just click on that and it changes it from black to white, which is fine. And on this one we will use a paintbrush right here, and let's make it a little bigger. Now I'm going to my bracket, which is right next to my P. I don't know how it is on your computer, but I'm making it right about there. I don't know if this shows up on my screen, but this is what we want. We're going to say the flow is going to be 33%, and the opacity is 33%, and I'm just going to daub it. I'm daubing. So now we have a nice glow, and you can see that it really improves the image. So let's keep it at that. Another thing I wanted to show you, if we go into our glow layer and say the glow is a little more than we wanted, we can go into the opacity right here and we can adjust the slider. Now watch the glow as I bring it down. See how the glow goes a little smaller and larger. So you can play with that and get exactly the desired effect that you want. Another thing that I'd like to do is put a hat on this gentleman. I think it would look a lot better, a little more of like a card player. So I usually have TIFF files with hats and plants. I'm taking this and I'm going to bring it down a little bit so that we can see the hat and the gentleman. And I'm going to move it. So we go into our move routine. We just grab the hat, bring it over to about here, and that's it. And let's put this back because we don't need it anymore. And there. And we can move the hat down. And if you need a really fine adjustment, I use the up and down arrows. I'm going to go the down arrow, bring it down a little bit to about there. I'm going to bring it over to the right a little bit. I think maybe to about there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see what we're doing. Maybe a little more to the left and up. Maybe one or two. About there. Yeah. And you're going to notice that we have a bit of his head that's protruding. We can cut that right off. And if I go into the main image, so now that's highlighted, and I'm going into our polygon lasso tool right there, and let's go from here over to here, over here, bang. And we're just going to do a Control X. Good. So now it cleaned that head right up. And the next thing we're going to do is put a shadow here because it looks a little phony. If you have a hat and a light, you're going to have a shadow. So if we go to our Add Layer tool, and did it put it? Yeah, we put it right there. This new layer has to be under the hat, and I'm going to call this, I'm going to double click it, and we'll call this Hat Shadow. Okay, and if we go over to here, I'm going to use our brush, and we don't want it white, we want it black, and we're going to use a smaller brush, let's say about here, about an 88 pixel, and the hardness is going to be soft, very soft, and we've got it 33 and 33. That I think that's about right. Let's see what it does. So if we go here, just add a little more. You can see it building up very gently, very gently. That's about right. And if you've gone a little too far, erase. I do a lot of that. And I'm just going to erase just a little bit of this. Let's take a look at our percentage. Not too bad. So I'm just going to go a little bit here. Oh, that's too much. Let's do Control Z. And is that because the brush is hard? Let's take a look. Yeah, see the hardness? We had it set hard for that, so we take that down. And this is all done on purpose so that you see exactly how it's done. And if you believe that, I have a bridge that I will be happy to sell you. Okay, so we have a nice little shadow there, and you can play to your heart's content. And again, if we go to the hat shadow, say you want to make that a little less obvious, we can go to the opacity again, because you're going to be using this a lot. We can make it a little bit less. See, I'm going to make it about, say, 86. So it has softened it just a little more, and I think I'm going to leave it just like that. And the next thing we will do is cut out the hand. So we have a hand with some cards, and let's start by selecting the subject. Okay, so it looks like it did a pretty good job. We have a little work to do in here. Let's clean this up. So I'm going to zoom in here. And you can see that it didn't like this. So what I'm going to do is use this this tool right here, which is the quick selection tool. Very handy. And you can make it bigger or smaller. I think this is about what I want to do, and I'm going into it, and we want to give it a plus. That's it. Good. See how that worked? This looks fine now. I think on this one we're just going to go ahead and use the lasso, and we want it minus. It was in the plus, so we're just going to go here, and we can carefully subtract it out. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to say we have our cutout, and again we're going to do the same thing we did before. Select, modify, and contract to, yep. Select, modify, feather to, yep. And then we go select and inverse. This is what's going to go. And remember, we want to make sure that this is a real layer. Just double click it, comes up with layer 0, say OK, and now you can modify it, and we do a Control X. There you have it. Okay, so there's the hands, and I'm going to bring this down, and we have our original picture here. So let's move it. So if we go into Move, and we take this, move it over into here, bang, now we have them. And let's, we can put this back. Okay. All right. So let's move this to a reasonable location, and of course we have to bring it, make it a lot smaller. See how that looks. Then we make it smaller by, we'll grab this, just bring it down, bring it over. Let's make this picture smaller, and make this a little bigger now to about there. Okay, so now that we have this, we can rotate it if we want. And when you rotate, you want to see it curved like that. And I kind of like about a rotation of that. Bring that up a little. Okay, so now we've got hands. Make it a lot more interesting. We see that this man has a lot more cards than he should, and this guy is cheating. So we've got a little competition going on. Bad competition, but that's what makes it fun. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is let's put a little shadow around. Remember, anytime a judge looks at a picture, he likes to see your eye attracted to the main part of the picture. So let's add another layer. I'm going to highlight the hat layer, and we'll put another one on top of it. I think it'll go up top. Okay, it did. Now, if we go to this layer, and then we say, let's do a black pour. This is a bucket pour. So we're in the paint bucket tool pour. So let's really ruin our picture now. We'll just go bang. And now we have a really nice black. Now, of course, what we're going to do is we're going to bring the opacity way down so that we have a nice shadow. And let's put it like, about there. And all it did is it just kind of dumbed down the whole picture. And now if we go into the eraser tool right here, and you can make it bigger or smaller by going to this, and if you want to make it bigger, you can just make it bigger or really big like that. Okay, so now we have that, and let's take a look at the flow. I got 43. Okay, let's see what happens. So if I go here, I'm in the eraser tool, and I click on it. Okay, so now you can see your eye is being drawn to his face and the hat. And bring it down a little bit because I want it to be drawn to the cards too. But I do want this area down here, I'm not pressing anything, to be a little bit in shadow, so your eye gets drawn to the main subject. And I'm doing a little bit of clicking, and I think that that's it. Okay, and there you have it, our picture. Remember what we started with.